Welcome back to the Father and Son News Show here on radioonfire.com. My name is John McKay, in here alongside my father, D. Williams. How you doing, Dad?
Hey, man, I'm great. So
every Tuesday, we are here unpacking political and social stories from the Radio on Fire studios here in Baltimore, Maryland. Want to encourage people to advertise or sponsor an edition of the Father and Son News Show by visiting radioonfire.com/promo for pricing and other details. Without any further ado, let's dive in. So we were talking off air. Before we even get into the story, what are your thoughts on the new police commissioner here in Baltimore?
Yeah, well, I think he's doing a good job. He's in a squeeze play. It's hard to, maneuver because he's got to appease the white community and he's got to appease the black community, and they have different interests, and so he's got to play the same role that President Obama played, and it's hard when you are trying to appease both communities. And so far he's doing a good job. Whether he can continue to do that tightrope, we'll see.
That's what they pay him the big bucks for. So he did a safety walk. I never heard of a safety walk before. But maybe that's something new. Bring it to the community. He's from out of town. So he took this safety walk to South Baltimore yesterday. Public safety walk. And this walk came days after a double shooting that happened in the area. So during the walk, residents were able to share their concerns with him. Brandon Scott also was down there, and the councilman for that district, I think it's Costello, was down there as well. And so, what do you think about these? Are these good things to have?
Yeah, and especially if he expands it and goes into the areas where there are a lot of violence.
Yes.
That will show that's what he has to do, because if he doesn't, then he's going to he's going to get caught off. He's going to slip off that tightrope that he's on.
Yeah.
But I think he's smart enough to continue it and spread it. So he's going to go into those other neighborhoods. He has to. It'd be crazy if you don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it shows that the community or the city at a whole is trying to come together. That's what he's trying to do. So he's got to bridge the two. So you got to do for both. Do for one, you got to do for the other.
Right. And I think that, you are being really optimistic about this and giving him a chance to prove that this is not a one-sided endeavor.
I mean, come on. The guy is in the know. How is he going to prevent crime?
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? How can the mayor prevent crime?
But many people think that.
Right.
Many people think that. When I posted that this walk was happening, somebody put in the comment section, since he's been commissioner, has been 20-some murders or 30, whatever the number was. And, he's doing a terrible job.
And before he became commissioner, it was 20, 30 murders.
Yeah,
how can a commissioner, if I'm mad at you, I'm gonna get done. I'm gonna get that. I mean, I'm on a motion. Police, how you gonna stop that?
Yeah.
He owed me my money from a drug deal, or he owed me money. You can't stop crime like that.
So what can he do?
What he is doing. Marching and trying to talk to the people and calm.
So this is more of a public relations.
Yeah, strictly. Because if it's if it's a drug deal going bad, it's a drug deal going bad, and I got to get paid. So that's not gonna stop anything.
Right.
That's like them locking up. What's the big cartel that they got out of Mexico?
El Chapo.
So did drugs stop coming in?
Right.
Please. So he's hope he can. He's in a no-win situation, but somebody's got to do the job.
Tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
Yes.
One resident said, "Our main concern, we live right across the street, is these squeegee kids." That's what one of the residents said. And he responded, said they should not be aggressive, and when they are, bring it to our attention. We're taking the action because we're seeing officers arresting them for the ones that are being violent and the ones that are committing other crimes. So, what can be done about the squeegee boys? I mean, I think that, there's an enterprising factor with them that is commendable. The fact that, they're trying to get out and do something. That part is admirable. They're
demonstrating an entrepreneurialistic tendency. But I think our former mayor had indicated that she had a program that she wanted to implement before her sudden departure. That I thought sounded pretty good, because you can't just throw the kids away. You can't throw them in jail. You can't just harass them. They are citizens. They're young, so I mean they're going to be the elders in the city in 5, 10, 15 years. I mean, so you can't beat them up and throw them away. They're here, and
right.
I know a lot of people take offense to them, I mean, it's the way it is.
How do you feel about it?
Well, I mean, some of them are aggressive, and some of them, if I feel like giving somebody some money, I will. If I don't, most of them I don't. You know what I mean? Right. But sometimes I do. I don't let them necessarily do my windows, because I'll just give them something because they're trying. They could be out here trying to stick somebody up, right, because they don't have a job. I mean, everything is about, just like Trump or anybody else wants to make money, they want to make money too. They go to school, teachers make, everybody in the school system is making money, but the students. I mean, so they want to make money too. And so, that's what they're trying to do. I remember we had, going back 20 years ago, we were coming out with about our de-water. Yeah. I wanted to have them out there selling de-water, and but trying to create jobs for them, something for them to sell and do. So it's part of the tough nut that we got to deal with, and we got to figure it out.
I agree. So the commissioner has scheduled some public safety walks, and he's going to talk to citizens about violence and uniting residents with hope that they will come forward with information about shootings. I think he's trying to, trying to build some, communication. And I think that is a good move, considering what's going on with
the police department.
The police department. We're going to talk a little bit about that down the line. So, state police are also cracking down on street racing, and I've been giving out scores of citations. An 8-hour crackdown on illegal street racing on 695 led to 130 traffic stops on Friday.
That's dangerous.
130. So police say that their joint operation with other local police resulted in 120 citations, 93 warnings, 58 safety equipment repair orders.
Hey, that's scary, because I know I'm out driving
on Friday.
Now let me tell you this. Some of them need to be in jail. You put people's lives in jeopardy. I see them going in and out of lanes. That's dangerous.
Yeah, it is.
That's dangerous.
It is. And so, in addition to the Beltway, they also patrolled I-70, 795, Route 40, Security Boulevard, Pulaski Highway. These are all places that they say races take place.
Now that's totally unacceptable.
And these are all places that we drive.
Yes.
All places. Everywhere that I named, we drive.
Right. Exactly.
Multiple times. And so just so people can know, so far in 2019, at least 3 people have been killed taking place in street races in Baltimore County alone, just in Baltimore County. So
that is very dangerous. Because that's indiscriminate. You can get killed. I'm trying to go home and I'm hungry, tired, trying to go home.
Right.
That's hard. That's totally unacceptable.
Right. And like you said, it can just happen just like that. Yeah. So won't hear any complaints from us.
No.
With that one. Also, defense attorney says that prosecutors relied on gun trace task force testimony. So in Annapolis, they had a commission to restore trust in policing, investigating issues related to this gun trace task force that we've been talking about for the last few weeks. They had a meeting today. And defense attorney Ivan Bates, who we've had here on the show, remember Mr. Bates?
Right.
Told the panel that prosecutors continued to bring cases based on the arrests from members of this task force, including the commander, Sergeant Wayne Jenkins, even though the prosecutors knew that the cases would be thrown out because of the conduct of the gun trace task force. So, like, I guess they arrested people and, the gun trace task force did the arrest. This drama's coming up. They still were pushing cases forward that they were involved in. And, if we're an attorney, we're representing a client, and our client was arrested by one of those guys, we would say, hey, what we going to do? These guys are corrupt. Right. You know what I mean? And even if that case was on the up and up, we can say that. Yeah. And that's the situation. And so Bates said that the state's attorney's office was more worried about convictions rather than fair cases. Now, when he says the state's attorney's office, who is he talking about?
The lady he ran against.
Exactly. Okay, so he's a nice guy. We like him and everything, but he has an invested interest here because he wanted that position. He would have done the same thing. Right. He would have done the same thing. And so he said that they were known entities. The system clearly failed the citizens because they were worried about statistics and not worried about people.
Well, the whole thing is really sad, and it shows you the state that we're in, because police officials should be held at, to a higher standard. When they do something, they should be above reproach. We should not be, the citizens should not be looking at them as equal. I mean, they're supposed to be up here. Yes. They're supposed to be setting the example for us. So when they get caught doing things, their punishment should be more severe. It should be more severe. And if they were actually doing the kind of job that they're supposed to do, that citizens would look for them to do, to look up to them, we wouldn't be in that. They would even this situation wouldn't even exist. Because like basis, the task force, they were more criminal. They were worse than the so-called criminals. Right. And so, but that's the problem with government. Period. Now we see, even with going to the presidency, you need to be above reproach. And when we were talking the other day about it was an incident happened, and the police are, suspended with pay. Okay, I don't want to change the subject, but take, for instance, basketball game. That little situation when he pushed the owner pushed the guy. Okay, they fined him $500,000.
Right.
Okay, they fined some of those players $2 and $3 million. They don't have the kind of money that he has.
That was considered a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, I mean that kind of situation. I'm gonna say here again, they need to be held at a higher level, above reproach. He should, even if he's paying $500,000, where's the money going? Where's it going? $500,000 to who? The NBA?
I think it should have went to that player.
Or to him to give it to organizations he wants, maybe to the NAACP, to the to pay for to black colleges.
I mean, giving it to the NBA. I mean, they could end up funneling it right back to him some kind of way anyway.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point that you brought up. So say Lowry, and that was Lowry.
Yeah.
Say that he pushed the minority owner instead of him getting pushed.
Right.
It would have been
completely
a big hoopla. They would probably try to suspend him.
Yeah.
There's no telling what would have happened, but it would have been a lot.
Right. But the omen is on the one who is a lesser. Then the one who is higher up should be held at a higher standard.
And the thing is, and just to say that you're not just saying that you live by that, I'm going to take you back to when I was growing up, and so I have 3 younger sisters, and if one of them did something, mainly one of the younger ones like Shanae or Shauna, if they did something and I did something, and I would say, well, they did it too, and you like, but they younger, and you the one supposed to be in charge, you the oldest, and my punishment would be more than theirs, even though they might have done the same thing, and that's how it should be. But I think that got lost somewhere along the way. They got lost, and that's why we have some of the issues that we have.
Right. Exactly. And it stems all the way back to, you mentioned school. I remember when I went to school, teachers dressed a certain way. The women had dresses, and I mean they dressed, and it uplifted you. It was a standard. And so we got to get back to standards. There's no standards. It's just like anything goes. I mean, now they got telling people's parents, you can't come to school because you look too bad. I mean, scarves and shower caps. It's
bonnets.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's, you look too bad to come to school to see you. I mean, this is insane. So the whole stand.
So they got like a dress code type of thing now?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and then the police are robbing you and steal. I mean, this is the problem, a serious problem, and we've got to get respect back into society, and it's not by demeaning the squeegee kids, and anybody, that's easy. You can kick. It's easy to kick them around and talk about them. Let's talk about the top people that they watching.
Yes,
what they're watching what you're doing.
Yes. 100%.
And so the standards have to be higher for the ones who are in a decision-making position, and they've got to act the part, and they're not acting the part.
So last story, more than, and this is following up with something that we've been talking about, more than half of the city employees had their email services back after this cyber attack. Now, of course, the mayor said last week that 90% was going to be up Friday, and that's not exactly the case now. Baltimore City has given this update, and so it's been 5 weeks since this happened. And the mayor's office said that, they're still working on it. Water bills still cannot be sent out or paid online. And there's a backlog of real estate transactions that they're trying to work through. Staff has been doing those transactions by hand. When I worked at FYE, we took credit card payments and cash payments. Sometimes the computers would go down, and we would have to do what's called the crash pack. When the computers crash, you get the credit card thing. You put the credit card on, you kind of swipe it down, makes the, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so We didn't like you the crash pack because it made accounting really, really weird. But that's what the city's doing right now. They got the crash pack out. I had a parking ticket I had to pay. And so would you say every 4 months I get a parking ticket? Yeah, every 4 months I get a parking ticket.
Right on time.
Right, every 4 months. Right out here, I park in the same spot. And, misdemeanor, and I pay $30. I already know. $32, got to pay that. I already know. And so I like paying it online. Couldn't pay it online. So I had to go into the office down on Water Street to pay. I didn't know what I was going to run into, but it was a lot of people. And I'm in there like, I cannot believe I'm in here. So I do what I normally do when I go in a situation like this. You know what that is?
No.
Look for a lady. I look for a lady that works there. And I turn the charm on 10. I act like the opposite of a damsel in distress. And, excuse me, sweetheart. You look nice today. Can you tell me, how do I pay this? And if they're older or younger, it doesn't matter. It all works the same. And she'll help me and walk me through it. And so so I had cash. I said, what do you do with that? You got to get a money order, baby. And you got to do it before 45 minutes because we're going to be closed. So I go get a money order, come back. You had to put it in an envelope and drop it in some box. And the long line of people, they were there for something other than that.
Well, how do you get past them though? So how do you get the lady's attention?
So there's anytime you go anywhere, DMV, the water bill place, a bank, there's always some woman that's working there that's walking somewhere other than the counter. You just wait for her. Whoever she is, she's everywhere. She works everywhere. And you just look for her. And it doesn't work as well for women. But the downside for women that are watching, there's always one or two guys that works there.
A lot of times they gay.
One of them, it won't be able to help you out too much unless you do the girlfriend thing with him. Yeah. Because most gay guys like an extra girlfriend. You know what I mean? But the secret is you got to compliment them before you ask them something. Mm-hmm. Compliment them. Something. That's some nice shoes. Man, I come in here all the time. You losing weight. Like something. You can find something. Nice hair, nice this, nice glasses.
That's
nice.
True. That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
That's
and then when you compliment somebody, you take the power away from them. Mm-hmm. And then, it makes them blush. It don't matter who it is. You know what I mean? It could be some big buff guy. Hey,
and everybody likes compliments.
Something. And you can find something. And then don't just run up to somebody. Excuse me. Compliment them first.
My son, he's learned. He's learned it now. You got to get them to like you. Oh yeah, that's right.
And then it works out for me. And then so she told me what to do, and I did that. Now all those people that was waiting, I got stuff to do. I got stuff to do. But so I'm just trying to drop that knowledge on people. So I had to do that and pay that way, but
dealing with the cyber thing, the citizens want strength.
Yes.
Is this going to happen again? Is this going to happen again? He never said, well, we're not going to happen again. What are you doing about it? The people who did it, because they'll come back again. You know what I mean? And like you said last week, it's the flim flam. Because the people who corrected it are part of the people who did it. And
it's like paying the gangsters for protection.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You paying the gangsters for protection. Either we're going to extort you this way, or we're just going to put a mask on and take it from you that way. Right. But if they doing it either way.
So the citizens are paying it, so they got to know.
That's what I'm saying.
What's going on? What are you doing to find out?
And there's no strength. There's no strength. And it's just, and he said he doesn't want it, right? He's the reluctant mayor. That's what I'm calling him, the RM. He's the reluctant mayor. He does not want to be mayor. He said it.
Right.
I don't want to be mayor.
Right.
That's like the vice president ascending to the presidency saying, I'm not going to run. I really want to be vice president when this is all over with. You know what I mean? As soon as 2020 come, I'm right back as a vice president. I don't play that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's crazy. Right. But he's going to mess around with his passive nature and not be able to get the old job back or the current job. The current job. So be careful how you treat these squeegee people, because he could be a future squeegee person.
Yeah. And they're gonna vote. They're gonna be the voters.
That generation.
Yeah.
The chickens are coming home to roost. Next week we are going to be going into the Democratic debate.
Yes.
They have a lot to talk about.
Yes.
But I wanted to wait because I wanted some of those people to drop off.
Right.
Some of them people need to drop. Some of them people need to be running for Congress.
Right.
Or doing something else.
Right.
Governor, man. You know, I understand what they're saying. Some people say I can't affect the change I want to affect. Just being a member of Congress. I hear you, but they're getting less than 1% in the vote. You know what I mean? Some of them people with the funny names that you never heard of, they don't have a chance. Mm-hmm. So they got a little name recognition, but now it's time to do something and make a real difference somewhere else.
Yeah, that's true. And to show you the importance of making that difference, baseball, the Orioles, there are not enough black men playing baseball no more. That's why it's so boring. There's nothing happening in baseball no more because we're not playing. So it's the same thing about Congress. So we got to get those people. We got to be all over the place. We can't just be all in basketball. We can't just we got to. And it's enough money in baseball too.
Why? What happened? Why aren't we interested in it? It's because we're not growing up as children wanting to play it. Is that it?
Yeah, and I think that basketball and football is a little bit more exciting to people.
So the speed of the game.
Yeah,
is that it?
Right.
I mean, because if you talk about football, they wear a helmet. The girls can't make out their faces. They only got to see their numbers. The baseball guys, it look like you can see my whole face. Because it's me right here. I'm on second base.
Because SJ, my grandson, your nephew, he played a little baseball.
Okay.
And the ball, he's out in the field. I mean, like second base or something. Mm-hmm. And the ball went to somebody. They dropped the ball, and so all he knows is to go ahead and tackle. It's about 5 little white boys, Jewish boys, about 5 little white boys going around the ball. And he was determined to get that ball. You know what I mean? And so he did what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? And so. It's
wrong sport. We need to put another sport.
Right. He was tussling. They was all on the ground fighting.
They had to see that before. Maybe we need to do that more often in baseball and get more interested.
So, I've noticed because they said that in the Orioles Stadium a couple weeks ago they had 3,000 people at the game. 3,000 people. It's 50,000 seats in there, and
that looked like 300.
Right. So it goes to show.
And it's spread out. It's not
people want winners. The same thing is.
Now, so you're saying that if the team was in first place, the stadium would be packed.
It would be packed. Just like all those people was outside in Montreal or Toronto. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. You saw how many people they had out in the street?
Yeah.
Those people that couldn't get in the stadium, they out in the street.
I wanted them to win last night because I wanted to see what was going to happen. I wanted to see the celebration. You know what I mean? Because
I love when the team wins, the locker room shots, or the beer, or whatever they pouring out.
And I like when you said, I said Toronto. You said Toronto. Canada is rooting for that's Canada's team. You know what I mean? The whole country.
Not yet. The whole country.
The whole country.
I told you what happened in the supermarket, right?
No.
All right, so we're gonna leave after this. So I'm in the supermarket arguing about the game with a Golden State fan. I'm rooting for Toronto, rooting for Golden State. And so waiting for some food. And an old timer behind me says, you do know that Toronto's in Canada, right? And so I said, yeah, I know Toronto's in Canada, man. You try to talk like I'm a traitor or something. I said, all the players are from America.
Right.
And so he thought about it. He said, it's still in Canada. It was just funny. So, Dad, thank you as always for another great show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we'll be back next week with more news and stories. Show's always available at radioonfire.com/father and son. Hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, all that kind of stuff. Helps the algorithm and helps the show. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Dad.
Yes. Thank you for having the show. Thank you for your mother. Wham.
Thank you. Thank you. I told somebody something the other day. They were acting really brand new.
Uh-huh.
You know, acting like they was hot stuff, all that. And I said, look, don't try to act like that. We are all the products of unprotected sex. All right? You ain't that special. All right, we'll see you on next week.
All right, on that one, got to go.